Guys, do you know how intense it is to start a family as two women in the UK? Like, I just don't think people know. They don't know the complexities of this journey. And do you know what? Everyone's out here telling you that having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Let me tell you, choose a girlfriend, choose a wife, start a family, expensive. Expensive. On a level, the world is getting queerer and queerer. Is it getting queerer and queerer? No, the world is waking up to its queerness. Amazing. And therefore, more queer people are exploring the opportunity that we have to start a family. Why does nobody know about the process? Why does nobody know the detail, the steps, both financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually, that queer women or queer humans who want to bring life into this world have to step through? And so do you know what, guys? Me and my gorgeous, gorgeous wife, Natalia, are going on this journey. We are going on this journey to start our family. And because I care, because I'm for the people, I'm going to take you on this journey. And I'm going to remove the veil between you and me, whether you are a queer person watching this who is curious and wanting to know because maybe this is something you're wanting to get into, or whether you consider yourself an ally and you want to be able to answer the question, how are babies made, with some totality, not just the head. You want to be able to actually speak truth on the different ways that life is brought into this world. Then I'm going to invite you to lock in. I'm really going to invite you to lock in. I know that this journey is going to require vulnerability and a lot of strength to have you all up in our business as we go through this, because if I have heard and learned anything so far, is that it is going to be like this. But someone needs to step out and educate y'all. And as I educate y'all, trust me, I'm just learning for myself too. So I'm stepping into the role of teacher. Actually, no. I'm stepping into the role of mother. You can call me Mother Calypso, because the initiation into the journey of becoming a queer mother requires you to step into the archetype of mother, because you get those sleepless nights from the beginning. Let me tell you, you have got that brain that is working in overload, thinking about all of your options. There are so many things that this path already has done to initiate me into mother. So I thought, you know, I'm going to be your mother. I'm going to be your mother while I sit down and show you how babies are made. So lock in and come with us on this journey as we step into our reciprocal IVF journey. I bet you don't even know what that means. Don't worry. I'm going to let you know with our known donor. I'll tell you all about that too as we embark on our journey in Mexico City. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you why the hell we're traveling all the way to Mexico City to do this. And hopefully, at the end, have our gorgeous little babe that we get to bring into this life. I've always wanted to be a mother, and I guess that journey starts right now. So let's see how this goes, shall we? Okay, so to start this journey, we have to go way back. It was 2022. It was probably a cold and rainy day because we're in England, and news hit the press that the NHS were going to be funding same-sex couples up to 6 free rounds of fertility treatment. And I remember the day that Nat and I got sent this post on Instagram from a friend of ours, and it was kind of led the way, spearheaded by Whitney and Megan, a lesbian couple of influencers who had gone to the government and taken it to court and said, there is essentially a gay tax on queer couples starting families. We need your support. You need to help fund fertility treatment for queer couples. And so it came out on the news being like, woohoo, NHS were approved to self-fund 6 free rounds of IUI treatment, which is insemination treatment, kind of shooting a little catheter up inside the uterus at the time of ovulation to get pregnant, versus IVF, which is fertilizing outside of the body and putting it in. Anyway, I remember we at the time were not quite ready at that point to start a family, but we were like, we're gonna get on that list in case we have to join a list for a million years. And so we went to our doctors, told them that we were interested and that we wanted to move forward. And they didn't know much about it, but they were like, yeah, cool, we're gonna refer you. Referred Nat, went for blood tests over the course of 6 months. And then we got a letter through the post saying that we had been referred to UCH London for an appointment with a fertility specialist. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And this is how that went. Oh, okay. Going to our first ever appointment to make a baby.
It's gonna be a long old while.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. Okay, see you after.
Oh,
reproductive medicine?
I think I called my GP.
I can't remember. I
Like
can't remember.
almost a year ago.
Nearly.
About a year ago, where I'd seen that the NHS were offering same-sex partners 6 rounds of IUI through the NHS. So I contacted my GP, asked her for a little bit more information. The only information she had was, as long as you're under 41, you'd basically qualify, but we need to get you for tests to make sure that you can go through the process and blah, blah, blah. We've had no information.
I treat quite a lot of same-sex partners here.
Yeah.
And my understanding as things stand, I'll double check the area you're in, is that I know there was quite a lot of press coverage about NHS in general planning to fund for same-sex couples. But my understanding, and I checked with a colleague before I came in here, is that unfortunately as the situation stands currently, although it will change and I totally think it will head in that direction, is that you need to self-fund 6 cycles of IUI prior to prove subfertility prior to being eligible for NHS funded treatment. And I have had patients in the past who come in with exactly the same expectations as you from that process, because it was in the news about a year ago that was the way things are heading, and things do change in the fertility world. It changes quite often actually in terms of what we can offer patients, so it's just really important that I'm open and honest with you about my understanding of the rules as they currently stand. Some GP funding bodies don't kind of follow what's recommended, so there are recommendations from the national body as to what should be offered, and lots of GP areas don't fulfil those recommendations.
So as it currently stands, you're saying we have to self-fund 6 months of IUI, and then what do you get after that?
After that you would have sort of proven subfertility, and so then there would be options for things including IVFs.
I just think we need to do the research, because how is it so yes and then so no, do you know what I mean? Okay, so went to our appointment and it wasn't the best news, was it?
No.
Because we were told by previous doctors that we could get 6 free rounds of IUI, and they've just told us that that's not the case in the place where we live, and that we will have to self-fund, which is...
Obviously.
I don't know, I felt upset.
Yeah.
I felt more upset than I thought I was going to feel.
Yeah, me too.
And so we will need to figure that out. Or also challenge. I just feel like, well, we need to do some research on where you can get it, which places are funded, and also it's just not right. Like there was all that thing in the press. I don't want to hear anything. Anyway, that's it for now. And so, with that information, we went back to the drawing board. We spent 2024 in deep research, basically just finding out about what we're looking into things like finances, looking into things like clinics. And we also went for our first fertility MOT because we were like, hold up, we need to know what's even going on inside to know if nat growing first is even the right option. So we went for that checkup and had good news. Our uterus shapes were all good. Our AMH levels were pretty good, and we got our follicle count. So we found out that I had 17 follicles and Nat had 11. So that also kind of confirmed that we were ready to move forward with Nat going through some kind of treatment first, which was what we originally thought. And we still didn't fully know at this point if we were doing IVF, IUI, reciprocal IVF. I promise. I will share more on that later. And then one of the other massive things that we spent most of 2024 thinking about were our donor options. And here's why that cheesy old phrase, everything happens for a reason, just has to be true, because the time that we were given in this year to not just jump straight into treatment really gave us the opportunity to think about how we wanted to choose a donor. We spent so much time in 2024 researching into what we were going to do about donors. We've been together for 9 years. We pretty much, in true lesbian fashion, since maybe 3 months into being together, had always just been like, oh cool, yeah, let's look at donors on sperm bank websites, and spent so much time checking out sperm banks, and we always thought that that was what we would do. We liked the idea of just having somebody that we didn't know. And then after spending lots and lots of time doing lots of research, reading studies, going to events with donor conceived people, just really getting honest with ourselves about what was in the highest integrity of two women becoming parents. And let me just preface this by saying I have no judgment. I respect everyone's choices. We had to do what felt right for us. And through doing all this research, we decided that we really wanted to find a known donor for our future babes. And we then came up against the hurdle of realizing that there is nothing fully set up to connect you in a very professional and legal way to known donors in the UK. I wrote about this loads on my Substack in 2024. So I'm going to link my Substack below so you can go and read way more information on that. But I'm also happy to do a whole Q&A episode on why we decided to use a known donor and the specific process we went through. If you want that, just literally comment below and I'll do a whole episode on it. I'm more than happy to. But yeah, we essentially decided that we wanted to have a known donor. The only ways to connect with known donors in the UK are if you know somebody, like you actually know somebody in your life and they're like, hey, I'd like to be a known donor for you. And that's kind of how this started snowballing for us. We had a friend that offered, but it ended up not being quite right. But once we then started to look into the benefits of known donors done in the right way, it was like, okay, yeah, this feels right for us. Then there are these kind of weird Facebook groups and apps that, again, really works for some people. But for Nat and I, we were like, half the people in this group of men are asking if they can do it the natural way. And we were like, no, you can't, honey. And we just also really wanted to have all donations done through a clinic for legal protection and parental rights. And of course, that costs a lot more money than doing it at home. Turkey-based method or like at-home insemination is the more official way. And for us, for our nervous systems, we really wanted to have a donor come to a clinic. We explored so many options, guys. So many options. We even wrote a letter to send out to our friends, family, like acquaintances with what we were looking for and who we were and why we were looking for them so that we could send that out. And we actually ended up meeting with a guy and having conversations with some other guys about being our own donor. But something just didn't feel completely right about having to handle it all on our own. And there was an amazing company in the US set up by a lesbian couple called the Seed Scout, where they connect you with known donors and have lots of like professional and legal settings around that. It costs a lot of money, but we decided that we were willing to try and make that extra money to use them because it was what felt most right for us. Now, the other huge caveat with using the Seed Scout, this known donor agency, was that we were also accepting that we were going to be traveling internationally for our fertility treatment. Why? Because using the Seed Scout, we paid a donor to be our donor, and there are lots of laws around sperm donors in the UK and whether you can pay them. So we knew that if we were going to use this agency, we weren't going to be able to ship our sperm to the UK. So we were also agreeing to traveling abroad. Now, originally, we always thought that that was going to be in America. So throughout this process, throughout this video and throughout others of clips of things that were taken in the past, you may hear me talk about us going to the US for our fertility treatment because we always were going to the US for our fertility treatment. That then shifted and changed to Mexico. And again, I will be sharing way more on that. But you'll hear me talk about going to the US, going to Mexico, and that's because we were in the stage of figuring out where we were going to go. But we're really, really excited to be working with the Seed Scout to find our donor. And this is how that process went. It was so beautiful. Let's do this. Oh. Right. What are you looking for in a donor? Yeah?
Yeah.
Donor hair colour, brown or black?
Brown/black.
Education level.
No, I'm not. This isn't important to me.
No,
It's
but
just so dependent on their upbringing. This for me, they could be a dancer, they could be...
yeah, so we can just say not important. This is...
It's basically just all the people I used to fancy.
This is so funny.
Who is this person?
Yeah.
We're done.
We're not.
We're done the first step.
Baby. Kiss.
Oh, your ring looks nice. Okay.
Kiss. Stop. Hey guys.
It is Thursday the 2nd of January and we're about to do something very exciting. We're about to look at our first pool of sperm donors sent from the Seed Scout. We've been waiting for this for like
5 weeks.
Yeah,
6 weeks.
Literally, we've been eagerly awaiting this day for so long, and we just got home from leading a retreat over New Year's Eve with 16 queer humans, and it was beautiful, and this is what we're coming home to do. So we have our TV set up, or actually someone's dropping around a HDMI cable in a second, so we can have all of the donors up on our big TV, and we're then going to go through, we get 10 sent over. This is our first look at donors that we have like briefed, I guess. We filled out a questionnaire.
Yeah, based on the criteria we sent over to the Seed Scout.
We sent that over like 6 weeks ago. I was away, which is why it's taking a little bit longer. And then we have 10 donors, and we're going to go through them, and we have to refine it down to our top 4. And so we've got a little process. We're going to look at them on the screen together so that we can like be in the energy. Well, actually, we're going to say a prayer first, aren't we? And like just ground into the energy. Then we're going to look at them together on the screen, so we've seen them all together. And then we're going to write our order of our top 10 individually.
That just reminded me of I made my note.
It reminded you of what?
Like on Blue Peter when they say, and this is what I made.
We're gonna make our notes and individually rate our top 10 so that we know.
No, our top 4.
No, I think we should rank them 1 to 10.
Oh yes, sorry.
Not our top 10.
Yeah,
There is 10. We'll rank them in order individually, 1 to 10.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring them up again, and we'll share our individual ranking and like share why and like what we think, and then basically come to a point where we can decide on our top 4 together. We have to narrow it down to 4. I feel like we're probably going to pick the same. I don't know.
I feel like we've said this and we're like, yeah, we're going to pick the same, but I don't know.
Now you feel like it's going to be really different?
I don't know. I feel like we've said it and I'm like, oh, if it's not, are we going to like, but no, we'll see, innit?
Also,
I'm sure there'll be some.
Yeah, and I feel like the list is like, it's an open list. I'm open to also, I'm not like this, we're not doing a top 10 and being like, this is my top 10, sticking by it.
No.
We're just ranking, and then when we share our reasons, I'm sure, well, we've got to meet, we've got to decide, but we thought it was important to individually also choose before we come together.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. And we'll be getting one step closer to our sperm donor this evening. We might not, we might not, we've got a week.
Well, it's happening. We're gonna look at them.
I feel we'll
like
probably get off. We know us.
I think we'll know.
I feel like we're quite.
I think I'll know.
Yeah, I think I know too.
Yeah.
What, you think you'll know the one?
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, I do. I actually think I do.
No, I reckon we'll get a top 4, but I feel like we'll have a strong 2 already.
Yeah.
So anyway, the next step after this is we refine it down to our top 4, and then once we decide on our 4, we let the Seed Scout know, and then they come back to us with more details, more information. And once we get that more information for the 4, we narrow it down to our 2. And then once we have 2, we will meet them on Zoom because we're in the UK and they're in the States, have conversations, and then once it feels like a vibe for both, if it feels like a vibe for both, we choose our one. So that's going to be happening over the next month. Let's go. Excited. Let's do it. Okay, let's go prayer first.
I bet all of them now. I bet there's something wrong with like. That's what I'm now a bit like feeling. Okay.
I'm feeling like there's going to be loads we're not going to have to narrow it down.
Oh really? Okay.
No, I think we'll have.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Say a prayer.
Ready?
I don't know. Okay. No,
I'm really nervous, like I can't click the next button. Okay, hold my hand. Okay, ready?
No, I don't know why. This is so weird.
Yeah, it does actually feel, I feel it now.
Okay, let's go.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Remember, we're trying to not.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah and no.
No, you're not.
Oh, sorry.
You're not meant to be doing. Don't do that.
Oh.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. It's really hard.
Yeah, this. I told you that I felt like this is what it was going to be. I feel like there are some clear ruler outers. Like just a couple. Like him. Definitely out.
Yeah.
Definitely out.
Yeah.
definitely out.
Yeah.
And then like the rest we need to go through.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I've got a couple of favourites.
Have you? I don't think I have, which is like scaring me.
Okay.
How do you want to do
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 like TBCs.
I've got 7.
So just take me through yours, and then I won't say anything.
In the order I've kind of written.
Yeah, I won't say anything. Then I'll take you through mine, and then we'll see what the crossovers are.
He is in for me.
Okay.
Like, I would say he's quite high up.
We've got our final 4. Technically, we have 4 plus 2 backup, which is what they asked for. So
Yeah.
4, and then you had to give 2 others that you what?
I just keep thinking about my resting bitch face.
Now I just realised that she has resting bitch face from watching the video back. So now
I'm really just trying to see him and smile.
No, you just have to own it. You've got quite a serious resting.
Yeah, I've got a serious. I know I'm quite serious. Look, I've got a serious face, but no, it's serious. It's not.
It was harder or easier than you thought? I think harder. Than
Not. I don't. It wasn't harder. It wasn't easier. I feel like it was very different to what I thought. Like, I felt like I was gonna be like have this rush of emotions and like immediately feel like connected. And I think it's like you automatically, the ego goes to like, oh, the good looking one. And then it was only when we started to actually unpick and look a bit deeper and think about our relationship with that person did we actually.
I felt like I actually was surprised how much I really was not looking at looks as much. Like, that's a lie. I was honing in on features. Like, I was like, oh, the ears, or they've got nice eyes, or I'm not sure. But I wasn't like looking at whether they were handsome straight away. I was more thinking about whether they were someone that we'd want in our life. I was like, which then also put me in a bias of being like, are they smart? Have they got a degree? We don't have degrees.
No.
So like, I was being judgmental in a different way, and I had to like hone that back and like then think about zoom out of just features. And not be like, oh, they've got a good nose or a bad nose, and then also not be judgmental on like how educated they were, but also then like overarchingly, the main thing is, one, obviously you have to feel a slight physical, like, is attraction the right word? I guess so.
It is attraction. It's
A
just
slight
like
physical attraction.
Right.
But then also the biggest thing that we just kept coming back to was, is this somebody that we think would want to have a conversation with?
Yeah.
Like, are we interested in knowing more about this person? Because they're going to be in our life for a really long time.
And I definitely felt that there was like 1 or 2 that I had like that instant like energetic connection with.
Yeah, I had
like just from their like types of photos or
the smile.
Yeah,
I did feel that too. But then one of the ones that was one of our favourites was one that I didn't even put in my top ones at first. But now I'm like, oh, I really.
He wasn't even in your top 6.
Like, yeah, it wasn't.
No.
But now I'm like, oh, I really like him.
Yeah.
So also like there were some moments when you were explaining, and then that like took me deeper into being like, oh yeah, I understand that. And there's one in our top 4 that you didn't have in.
Yeah.
So we've got our final 4, and we'll keep you posted on the next steps. Farewell. It's Thursday the 16th of January. We are about to hop on our first meeting with one of the final 2 donors that we've narrowed it down to. How are you feeling?
I feel alright actually.
Me too. I feel pretty chill. Like considering this is quite a big thing.
Yeah,
It's just like a Thursday night at 8:30, and we're like, well, guess meet and maybe donor. And we've got the second one tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're on the Zoom waiting for it to be time for it to begin with our questions ready to ask. Yeah, I feel like it's weird knowing that this could be. It's a bit weird when you think about the fact that this person could be in our life in a really big way for a really long time.
Yeah, I think I'm just like not really thinking about it, and just trying to be present and just let it flow and see how it feels, rather than like get too stuck in the detail of it, even though it's like really important to.
No, I know what you mean. Like, it's like, don't get stressed about it, because it's going to be right whatever happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, we better go because it's about to start.
Bye.
Hi.
Hello.
It is now the 17th. We have got our second call with our second final donor.
In 1 minute, you like to keep things.
It literally starts in 1 minute. This is very me coded to do this 1 minute before. Yesterday's...
What's this new coded thing you keep saying? I'm sorry. You keep saying it, I don't know. It's
That's older, just not really down lingo. Yesterday's one went really well. Like, we really liked him. He was so sweet. And so I feel like I'm just so curious to see how different, like, they're very different from their profiles. Very different from their profiles.
I think
so, like, I'm intrigued to see what the, like, connection and flow is like with somebody after having such a good one yesterday. So we'll see.
We'll let you know.
Let you know. I think we know who our donor is, don't we?
I think so.
We just had our second call and it was so good.
It's really beautiful.
So good. Like, we thought yesterday's was good, but it wasn't in comparison to that.
No.
That was like, I feel like I've never been on a date before because I'm a serial relationship girl. But I imagine that's what it feels like if you were to go on a date with somebody and, like, as soon as you're on a first date, you're like, oh, this is my person. That's what I can imagine that comparison to. He was so amazing. Like, exactly like when we went on this journey to decide to not use the sperm bank and to actually, like, consciously seek out somebody that can be in our future children's lives and that can be, you know, integrated into our lives and be a friend as well as to give us this amazing gift. Like, this is the exact type of guy we were dreaming that we might meet to be our donor. I'm so excited. We have a week to like make our final decision. We're going to give ourselves the week just to, like, sit with it, because then I also think, like, if any other questions come up or that we
can't get too excited though, because we still have to go through the like semen analysis and genetic testing.
Yeah, it's true.
So we're like
our heart feels excited,
but
we do have to be a bit, like, reserved on the full excitement, because if he came back with certain genetic conditions that we have, or his semen analysis doesn't pass the test, then it won't go ahead with him. So, but, like, our hearts and our souls and our bodies, as soon as we got off the call, we were like, like, giggling. Nat's cried already. It's special. I can't believe it. Love you.
Love you. Oh, that's a rubbish game.
Okay.
No.
Give me another one.
No.
Give me another one. I don't want your tongue. Love you.
Love you. I need to go to bed.
Good night. Oh, hi. It's the 31st of July 2025 and I've not done an update on this in such a long time, but I think it's really important to be here and to check in when things are going badly as well as when things are going well. We have hit a roadblock. We've hit a roadblock and it is just so exhausting and disheartening. And all you want to do is have your baby and start your family, to meet constant along the way. And, like, I can't give too many details because there are legal contracts involved in all of this, but let's just put it this way. We were on track to have our treatment or start our treatment in the next couple of 2-3 months at a clinic that really felt aligned to us, that felt really right, and now that can't happen. And so we're facing either having to travel further than we would like, and use a clinic that has just given us, like, low quality care and attention this whole process. I don't even know what the or is, to be honest, because the or is change to a different clinic, but we can't afford to change to a different clinic. The costs of other clinics are so high. And so I'm just feeling so exhausted and over it. And that is too, she's out right now, but we're both just, I'm a very positive person. I am a very positive person. I see the light and solution in everything, but it seems right now, for making the right decision morally for our future children, we are being faced with so many hurdles, so much bureaucracy, so much red tape. When to do this in like an unconscious way and just click and use a sperm bank and wouldn't be a problem. And of course, guidelines and rules have to be in place for protection, but some of these just make no sense. They make no sense, and I'm so tired. And so I just wanted to show up on a day like this too, rather than just in the excitement, just in the, we're having a baby, we're picking our donor. Like, things are really hard. And I don't know what to do next. I really don't know what to do. We can't afford what we want to do. Actually, no. We can afford what we want to do, but legally that can't happen. So our second option, we can't afford to do. And so we're basically being left with option C right now. Unless we can just manifest a whole chunk of money. Which I'm not putting out of the realm of possibility, but I don't even have the energy to figure out how right now. I'm trusting God in our path, but God, this is hard and exhausting. Also, I'm running a business. I have stuff I need to do today, but it's currently 1:49 p.m. and I've done nothing. Because I can't. My brain. Like, how can I focus on the things that I need to do when, like, this is our whole life and it's being shaken at its core? Anyway, just a real post. Just a real one. Bye. Hopefully I'll be back with some better news soon. And so then, one day I woke up and I decided to do something delusional. Nat went away for the weekend. She was on a silent retreat, and we had been saving and putting aside all of our money from the retreats that we host with our retreat company. Actually, wait a second, shameless plug. We are in a company called People Like Us Retreats, and we host retreats for queer and trans and non-binary people. So all of the money had been going towards using the Seed Scout, the donor agency that we've been using. And we had then been, putting small bits of money aside for fertility treatment, but with a need to change a clinic, like everything was just and stressful and like amounting. And so Nat was going away for the weekend, and I woke up one day and chose the Lulu. And I said, why don't I just secretly try and fundraise £15,000 so then I can surprise Nat and tell her that our IVF is paid for and that we can pick a clinic without stress. And that I did. Okay, this isn't easy to say, especially as a queer black woman, but I need your help. Now, my fiance has been on a silent meditation retreat for the past 5 days. And last night I had the delusional idea that how sick would it be? I could tell her that our £15,000 IVF bill that is to come is sorted and paid. Hi, I'm Calypso. This is my gorgeous fiance, Natalia. We've been together for 8 years and we always knew we wanted to start a family. So leaving this with the TikTok gods, if you do donate, please comment so that I can thank you personally. And even if you can't donate, I would be so appreciative if you could interact with this from the bottom up so that we can spread this word, get as many eyes on this as possible because the countdown's on. Okay, delusional thing. Let's go. It is day 2 of my delusional mission to secretly make £15,000 so that I can surprise my fiance and tell her that our IVF is paid for. We're 24 hours in and we are more than 25% of the way there. Like, what? Guys, it is day 3 of trying to secretly raise £15,000 so that I can surprise my fiance. My fiance? To day 4, we're at a festival, okay? She's over there meditating. You see her? So cute. We've just hit 6.3k and I have a powerful delusional vision. Guys, we have 36 hours to secretly fundraise £15,000 so that I can surprise my fiance and tell her our IVF is paid for. First of all, thank you so much for all of your support. Now here's the thing, we're about coming up to the £7,000 mark, so we have £8,000 to go. All that means is I need 800 people on this massive app with billions of people to donate a tenner. If you are seeing this and you want to see a beautiful woman have the best surprise of her life, being told by me that all of you guys have supported us in fundraising the money for IVF and that it is done, it is paid for, we do not have to stress and struggle anymore. If you want to be a part of that, I so plead, at this point I'm begging, I beg you. This is it. The final 24 hours. We're waking up in a festival still. I'm pretty sure there is still sleep in my eye. She's just gone to the toilet. This is the only time that I have without her to record these videos. Remember, we're keeping that manifestation Delulu hat on, and I'm just so grateful. I can't even tell you how grateful I am. Okay, it's day 7 of secretly fundraising £15,000 so that I can surprise my fiance and tell her that our IVF is paid for. Guys, we have less than 2 hours until Nat is home and the big reveal is happening. We have raised £10,200. Oh my god, this is it. Okay, Nat is going to be home in literally 10 minutes. I don't do things organised, and my plan is I'm going to write the amount up on the wall. I'm going to sit her down and then I'm going to have her peel away the numbers one by one. I feel sick. I can't actually speak. I just need to go. Okay. I'm shaking. I can't even hold the paper. Look at this. Okay, do this. Oh my god, I need to add up the amount. I can't remember how much it is. Wow, 10,334. Can you see this? Definitely not. I'm gonna throw up. I feel sick. Okay, I'm gonna stick these up. Okay, some hearts, just throw her off so that she can't work out how many digits it is, you know, like that's the plan. I'm shaking so much. Okay, let's do another heart, throw her off. I think I need to colour these in. Do I have time for this? No. Am I doing it anyway? Absolutely. Okay. Whew. Right, that's that done. Now the cover-up paper. I've not got enough of this paper. Shit. Okay. I'm gonna order these because I think she's gonna think if there's a 1 in there that we've raised 1,000 and something, so I'm gonna try and number them so I know how to take them off so she thinks that. 7, 8. Okay, we are ready. Gonna light some incense. Take some deep breaths. Can you see the sweat on my face? Are we waiting?
Hello. The fuck?
Come here.
What?
I got a surprise for you.
What do you mean?
Sit down.
What do you mean?
Sit down.
Why?
I got a surprise.
Okay.
All of our money and raising money and making money for IVF has been so stressful.
Yeah.
And so much.
Papa, I can't take you seriously.
Well, you have to take me seriously.
Okay.
And so this week, we went on a journey to ask people to support us in donating money so that we didn't have to make it all on our own. And they have. And so I want them to pull off these pieces of paper in order, and they're going to reveal how much you've been supported.
What?
Okay? Okay?
Okay, well, I just pulled the pieces over.
Start with number 1. Go on.
Oh, okay.
Let me move out the way. Just carefully. Yeah? Make sure you don't pull off the next one.
I see, what am I doing?
Yeah, just put it
Oh,
on.
just putting it on.
Just we'll sort out that
Okay.
after.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Number 2. A pound sign.
Okay.
Number 3.
I don't understand why it's all wrong. Oh.
Okay, pull. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Oh, that was number 6. Number 5. It's fine. Number 5. Number 7.
No.
Yeah, number 6.
I can't count. What did I pull off?
I don't know. I think you did it alright.
The fuck?
Number I know, freaking wild. And honestly, I and Nat, we forever pinch ourselves and are so grateful at the kindness of humanity and the fact that we pulled off. That I pulled off. Like, I cannot. And with that money, we were able to find an incredible clinic in Mexico City that just felt so right to work with. And there were so many reasons that clinic was great. And again, more than happy to answer questions about how we chose where we wanted to go, the country, the clinic. But one of the things that was so on just like heart burst wide open for us was that using this clinic meant that we would be able to do our dream way of starting a family, which is reciprocal IVF. Now, what the hell is reciprocal IVF? You might be asking. Reciprocal IVF is the closest thing that two women, or just two queer humans that both have uteruses and ovaries, can get to making a baby together. Like, obviously we need a third party, but reciprocal IVF is where one person goes through a process of creating eggs and then embryos, and then instead of those eggs and embryos that are fertilized outside of the body being put back into that one person, they get put into the other partner. It's also sometimes known as shared motherhood. And so we were really excited to explore that was something we could do. It also didn't cost any extra at our clinic, which I think is also worth noting. And so that is the journey that we're about to embark on and go on. Next step is Mexico, where we will go for the first trip for Nat to do an egg retrieval and create some eggies, make them into embryos. Our sperm is already there. And to turn those eggies into embryos, freeze them. And then we'll be back there sometime in 2026 to hopefully do a frozen embryo transfer into me. And I will be pregnant. That is the plan. That is the hope. Who knows if it will be straight sailing or lots of different things coming up that slow us down. Who knows? But one thing I do know is that we both feel so ready. And like I said, we're going to take you along this whole journey with us. Now, actually, there's one thing I haven't mentioned. I'm doing this with my wife, Nat. Why is this just me speaking? She is a super private person and doesn't love social media. I actually respect that about her. I think it's very hot. I, on the other hand, don't shut up, which is why I'm here doing this. And so she's obviously given the complete green light and go ahead for me to share this journey, but there is no pressure for her to show up and be in any videos. You'll probably see her. You already have. But this is through my eyes and my perspective, which is why this is called Mother Calypso. Now, there is only one thing that I'm going to ask of you. And this is a complete passion project of mine. I have a business, I have work. This is something that I'm doing because, like I said, I want to remove the veil between you and me, between humans that don't have complete clarity on what it takes for two women to have a baby and those that want to know and those that are going through it. So I'm going to share everything. The only thing I'm going to ask of you is to hit that subscribe button below. Oh my God, am I a YouTuber? I'm saying that. I'm such a YouTuber. But really, like, I wanted this to be shared with as many people as possible. And I have big dreams for how far that this could go. And so you hitting subscribe, even if you've never done that before, I'm going to hold my hands up. I'm really bad at remembering to subscribe to people's channels. So like, just do it right now before I've even finished a sentence. Ding! Oh yeah, okay, done. Because in doing that, it means that I can continue to just pour as much time and energy into this and get it out there to as many people as possible and show other people how important it is so that they can maybe continue to join this journey and like have us spread it far and wide. I don't really know. Maybe we could set a really wild goal and be like, let's hit 1,000 subscribers in the first month. I don't know. I'm all about manifesting. And I know that there are 100,000. 1,000 queer babes that maybe will watch this and want to support another. So yeah, the way that you can do that is just by hitting subscribe below. And like I said, if you've got any questions, if there's anything that you're like, oh my God, I would love for you to do a whole episode on this, the comments are your free for all. I'm going to be reading every single one of them. And this really is not just about me. This is not just about me. It's not just about us. This is about all of us. And I want to share as much information as I can with you so that this is a smooth journey for you. If you are a queer person thinking about going for this, or you are just an ally or a straight person who really wants to be supportive, I'm here, Mother Calypso, to share all. So we will be back in the next episode with our trip to Mexico. We're heading to Mexico. I'll be back in a couple of weeks to take you on that journey with us. Thank you for being here. From your mother, Calypso.